Welcome, 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 welcome. All right, family. Y'all know what time it is. This is Sunday. Bmore. Bmore Team Talk. Bmore Team Talk. Empowering our next generation. Empowering our next generation. Now, I just want to put this out as well, right? My platforms are for educational purposes only. Okay? When I say educational purposes only, because I'm talking about life, I'm talking about life challenges, right? I'm talking about stuff that we experience as children, right? And I'm trying to remember because I want to stop using certain words, triggering words, right? So y'all know I had to go have a nice conversation with AI. All right. A lot of us do not like talking about childhood trauma. So rather than me saying trauma, right? AI says start using words like early life challenges. So that sounds a lot easier to deal with or to handle. Mainly if we're going to talk a little bit about grape, touching, physical, emotional, spiritual abuse, abandonment issues, because I want y'all to feel comfortable when y'all come on here. I want y'all to feel comfortable to talk about life, the past, and the present. So I want y'all to feel comfortable to talk about those things without judgment, without being criticized, right? So I want to be as professional as I possibly can. Not only that, because I know whenever I'm streaming, family, not just to the United States, the majority of, like, when I get my monthly, what is it, analytics, something like that, they tell me, say like 65% of people in the United States might be listening. 65%, right? It might be 3 in Buchanan. It might be 2% over in I was going to say Mexico. It might be 2% over in another place. But I'm going to tell y'all now, the majority that I know that my platforms do live stream to is different parts of Africa. I already know that because I see it when they send me my stuff, right? My man just came through and I told him he's welcome to come up, but he's from Ireland, right? It's a young guy that comes on my YouTube. He's 17 and he's from overseas as well. So the only reason why I'm saying this, family, because whenever we come on, whether it's TikTok, whether it's whatever live streaming platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, whichever live stream that I'm broadcasting to, we are seen and heard around the world. So if you feel like you're going to come up here with a bunch of chaos and confusion on here, I can't take that. Because I don't need nobody in Baltimore City when they see me. Yeah, man, you know that platform you did the other day was kind of messy, bro. No, not here. I don't need no politicians telling me.
I'm not going to allow it.
I'm
not going to allow it.
Right.
I'm not going to allow anybody to bully us on our own platform. That's BS. I refuse to have that happen to us.
Right. Now, because my thing is, I'm local now, live-wise. I want to go circuit with my stuff. And that's no disrespect to anybody on TikTok who likes to have challenges or debates platforms. If that's where your heart is at, that's where your mind is at, that's fine. Big Unc is about education. It's about healing. It's about growth. It's about helping people to become one with themselves and God, the God that's in them. I can only share from a level of personal experience how God worked with me. And my beliefs and how my relationship is, I will never let another human being try to tell me anything different. I wouldn't even want you, because it's not to discourage you. If you already have a great connection with a higher power, only thing I ask you to do is share your experience with me. If you are a very religious person, I'm not into like Islamic or Jewish teaching and all that type of stuff. But if you can better help me understand how that better your life, you as an individual, I would appreciate that. But if I feel like you're trying to push it to force me to move in your direction, that's where the trouble gonna come in at. Don't do it. Don't do it. As a believer, as a lover of Jesus Christ, as a follower of Jesus Christ, I know everyone don't study the Bible, the Holy Bible, to understand that. But if you say Jesus' name is known by Yahweh, if you say Jesus' name is known by, y'all might call him Abba, right? But which is the creator. Whatever name you call him, it's only one God. I don't care what you call. It's only one. Mother Earth, the third eye, because that could be spiritual. I don't care. But if that's how you connect with the higher power or that powerful resource, I'm all right with that. I can only tell you from how the Holy Spirit worked in my life, how I was able to read and study the Bible and get an understanding of the Creator himself. Now, something created this world. Something put the stars, the moon, the planets up there. It was not Steve Copeland. Something put it there. So I'm just trying to find out who did what. Right? But I know it wasn't me. That's number one I could say. So I don't get entangled into a lot because some people spiritual insight might be much higher and brighter than mine from where I'm at right now. Just share it with me. Because sometimes y'all can say stuff out your mouth and I'll be like, oh my God, just to blow my mind. I didn't see it like that. So what you doing, you enlightening me. But if you're trying to push it, like this is the way you need to live your life, this is then that's where the trouble comes, right? With people individual. That's why we argue and all that the way we do. But I'm not going to argue with you, because if I tell you I am a Christian man, I am a lover, I am a follower of Jesus Christ, you didn't hear me say, even though it started out religiously, I said I'm a spiritual man, I'm a lover, I'm kind, considerate, thoughtful. I'm talking about this brain underneath of this skull cap. I'm talking about my personality, as a human being. That's why a lot of us is lost, because we don't know who we are inside. It ain't based on your religion or none of that. based on who you are as a human being. So the reason why I'm saying this, family, because once I was lost, huh?
Are you sure you got? Are you sure you got what you need now?
Oh yeah, I know. Look,
no. There's some people out here that can still show us some stuff. So I mean, we don't have all of the right answers, but we have the answers to make us a success.
Do you think I'm gonna let some other man dictate my life, or some other human being?
I'm joking with you, brother.
No, I'm just because somebody need to hear that. Somebody need to hear exactly what you said.
Well, I mean, it is true. I mean, we are children of God anyway. So therefore, why not do what I just said? I mean, some people can give us a little bit more enlightenment in what we're going through. I mean, it's a spiritual thing. It's a natural thing. So let people do what they need to do. We only take what we need from the information and put it into our lives, brother.
I said, I will never, and the only reason why I'm saying this, because some years ago, I listened to Malachi York. That's why I don't let everybody preach to me, bro, and minister to my spirit. I was going to a Baptist church for 5 years. I was sponsoring this guy who was a Moor Samaritan, and Malachi York was their teacher. Malachi York said, that's when Mary, God blessed Mary with his spirit to produce Christ. I know without a doubt, you know without a doubt, a woman cannot have a baby without a man. So when Gabriel said that, he said, when Malachi said that, he said that Gabriel came to Mary and impregnated her with the spirit. But that's not what the Bible said. So when he said that, I went in my head. Look where I'm going. I went in my head because I know even one of my wives, they couldn't have got pregnant with my child without me. So I believed him. Then he said this, once you unalive, it ain't no coming back. But Lazarus came back. So what he was saying made sense to the mind. But I realized when you're dealing with God, a lot of stuff that God does doesn't make sense to the human mind. And for 3 years, I was without a church. When I went back to the Church of the Redeemed, I said, number one, I will never let another human being minister to me just like that. I hear you, don't get it wrong, but I'm only going to let you so far. Another thing, when my pastor said, study to show thyself approved, I said, to who? To myself. And he came behind it and said, unto God. Win favor in the sight of God first, and then man. What we have a tendency of doing, we want to win favor in men, women, and all of them. We want them to like us and appreciate us first, and then God. When I realized that's where I was at one point, I had to flip it. It's about winning favor in God. So the whole thing with me, when I look at my past, and if I find myself repeating a lot of that stuff, I'm back in the game again. Well, doing the wrong. But as long as I'm on this path and walking in the right direction, I feel like this is where the Spirit is guiding me, leading me. Now, men have a tendency of talking, but a lot of their actions doesn't match their words. And I'm the type of dude that I learned throughout this process and serving the Holy Spirit. That's why I say this. My actions speak louder than anything I can say out my mouth. That's why I started the Couch Talk Show. That's why I started the Teen Talk Show. That's why I started Strengthen the Community. That's why when I tell you I'm a community activist, a human rights advocate, when I tell you the positions that I hold, titles, we come up with solutions to help the people. We just don't talk. We just don't talk. We talk, we walk it, and we all heal together. So no. Now, I'm not trying to be smart. I try to keep my mind open. But let me say this, at 64 years old, been married twice, have children, got grandchildren, sitting back, living my life, doing the business thing, would somebody else gonna come and tell me what to do? And I'm in retirement mode. I ain't trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm already living life, heading towards pamper mode. You know, reverting back to that pamper mode. So I'm not trying to be smart. I be sitting up here saying to myself, be honest with you, the hell somebody can teach me about living life. When I done already lived my life, I'm looking at my children, I'm looking at my grandchildren. What in the freak? And I'm not trying to be smart because it is stuff out there, but I'm just saying, ain't a goddamn thing no other man or woman can teach me right now that I ain't doing according to the will of God. Come on, Candy. And I was trying to watch saying that I know who I am in Christ. I know who I am. If a man don't know where he came from, he won't know where he's going. My daughter asked me to come down there and put some stuff on the grill. I said, I'm retired. You supposed to put the stuff on the grill and then I just come. And she come talking about, nah, because you daddy, you always daddy. Come and put stuff on the grill. I said, no, I'm in granddaddy mode now. I ain't got to go put nothing on the grill. Y'all better put it on the grill and invite me. I done all that. Putting stuff on the grill, candy, cooking Thanksgiving dinner, buying outfits and getting hair, nails, and all that done. Please. Now it's time for them to start taking care of me. I said, you go ahead and put it on the grill and I come down there and eat. You heard me, Candy? I come and eat.
Yeah, I'm here. I was gonna say this. Since I've been, I've been staying with my aunt and been taking care of her. So, and it's a job in itself. So.
Look, I know. Come on, Candy.
Even when it comes to making doctor's appointments, I have to do it because she's busy at work and trying to get stuff done, and then she'll call me and ask, well, did you make that appointment? I'm like, yes, I did. So.
And see, that's caretaker mode. You in home caretaker mode.
Well, like I said, I even had Chris bugging me, and he's supposed to go on vacation this week, but he's not too sure now because he's having some medical issues. And he said to me the other day, he said, well, if I can't go on my cruise, can you come over? And I said, I have stuff I have to do. I said, I have to tend to myself and I have to tend to my aunt. I'm not dropping everything just because you're not going somewhere. And nope. I said, I'll see you in July. You're going to have to wait.
Wow. I appreciate that. I love it.
Yep. As I told him, I said, you're not going to have your cake and eat it too. That's not the way it's going. So, But I'll find out tomorrow what goes down with him. I hope he does. I hope he can go away because he's been driving me nuts with asking me just different questions and stuff. I'm like, why are you asking me this? I'm like, come on.
Look, my daughter got my truck. It takes $100 to fill my truck up. And even though the price is up, what I was trying to tell her is it took $50 to fill it up before the prices went up. Now the price is up. It costs least to fill that tank up is $100. My thing is, do not let it get under a quarter tank again. She ran out of gas because she don't want to put gas in it. I said, wait a minute. That is not a little car. It's an SUV. You do not, number one, want to run out of gas in that. So I called her not too long ago before I came on. And I ended up sending her $75 because she has to go and get some gas and put in it. So this my stepdaughter, you not call her my daughter, the 27-year-old. Her father took a juice thing and probably wasn't really that big, put gas in it and it wouldn't start. I said he should have done a couple of them. He already know that he's a mechanic. That's all it takes. If it get to that point, is a gallon. If the gallon is $5, you put the gallon in to get it started to go and do what you gotta do. So anyway, I just called her because, I knew she didn't have no extra money. She said, yeah, because the $50 you gave me last time to fill it up, well, to put in there, it gave me over a half a tank and it lasts me all week long. I said, I already know. I know how long it will last you. And it all depends on how you driving too. But the thing is, it's an SUV. When I had it in my possession, I would not let it go under half a tank. You don't want it to fall under there. That's a truck. And even if you do let it fall from time to time, because I know she don't have the money to put in it like I do, don't let it go past a quarter tank. So you won't run out, period. So anyway, we just had a conversation. I'm the father. So what I'm trying to get to with the teen talk, even though she's a grown woman, you still, for some, have to teach them some things. I don't want to see her and her daughter stuck in the streets. That's why I gave her the truck to use. But now my thing is you got to take care of it. You got to make sure the oil is changed. You got to make sure the pressure, the fluids in the truck is straight. Tires measured out. You take care of your car gonna take care of you. And that's what I had to tell her. But some people, they think they can still get around with stuff for free. You're gonna drive it till it get empty and then wonder why it ran out. I said, you better stop that. And then you gotta call and find your way home with you and the baby and cut that mess out. So we both started laughing, right? Because she said, I get tired of putting money in there. I know you do. $5, $10. How long you think that's going to last? No, it's a truck. It's not one of them little cars you can put $10, $20 in and it might fill it up. No, that's a truck. So this is why when I say the teen talk, right? Even if we're doing the couch conversation show, keep in mind, it's educational purposes only and opportunities. It's more like each one teach one. It's a lot of our young people, which I was sharing not too long ago. When you got children 7, 8, 9, 10, some of them haven't met the puberty level yet. Some might have. All depends on, I guess, the body and the hormones, right? But normally, with the ages, 12, 13, 14, or 13, you begin to go through the puberty phases. It might not be in that dark spot or that private place. It could be just under the arms where it starts at. Could be there. That's why it's very important for parents to educate their children biologically, mainly when it comes to the body changes, because they don't know. Now, in school, when I was coming up, we had biological classes where they taught you the body parts and stuff like that. But some parents get offended because they feel like that's personal for them. Yeah, that's true. But if you're not educating your children in those areas, then they blind to it. And a lot of parents don't feel comfortable talking to their children. Me and my daughter was talking about her baby, my 2-year-old grandbaby. She was wiping her with a wipe thing, and she scratched her on a boopity boop boop. So I asked her, did she actually scratch, in between it, or just the skin itself? See, you don't hear a lot of men talk like this. Now watch this. When I took care of my daughters and babies in those areas, I had to be really, really, really careful so that you won't break the Heimlich or break something there. You get me? How many men talk like this? So I had to be real, real careful and make sure they was cleaned out. Mainly if they end up poopity poop poop. You got to make sure it's not there. So you got to open that a little bit, make sure it's nice and clean. Now I'm talking with my daughter, because this is how daddy used to take care of her. All of them. My nieces, my nephews, my own daughters, on down. A lot of men don't like to talk about that. And that's what I was telling me and my daughter was talking about. A lot of men are afraid to wash their daughters. You get me? Because they're afraid they might be a little bit rough in certain places. I'm only saying that for TikTok's sake. I got to say certain places. For TikTok's sake, but y'all know what I'm talking about when you bathing them or you changing their pampers. Yeah, you bathing them too. I was taught this type of stuff early on in my life. I watch my daughters and little Steve too, but I watch my daughters 5, 7, 10, 12 begin to blossom. They begin to develop. So you get them training. My wife took my kids shopping, and guess what? I did most of the shopping for my daughters myself. So for a lot of women that feel like men ain't a part of certain things, watch the ones you allow in your life. Because I'm not just talking about my own daughters. I'm talking about my stepdaughters I had to raise. And be careful with them as well. You get me? And then you heard me say my nieces and nephews. that I ended up doing kinship foster care with, so they wouldn't be with people that they didn't know. Keeping it in the family. So do you understand why Bmore Teen Talk, empowering our next generation, empowering them, encouraging them? I'm talking with my 25-year-old. Her skin, she had to take her wig off and stuff because she was breaking out up here. She got sensitive skin. She like, Dad, because she taking this stuff, putting it on her. She said, because I'm not trying to let my self-esteem go low. Because you know how you might look at yourself and then you start degrading yourself. And I'm listening to my baby using everything that her mother and I taught her. How to actually build back on her own self-esteem. How to empower herself. I said, know what? I can't even tell that she, had the issues, but I know she do have this little skin thing. I already know that. So she do talk with dermatologist, stuff like that, right? So she was just cleaning her stuff and doing what she doing. And I wanted to tell her in the process, yeah, Daddy used to go through the pimples and all that stuff too, right, coming up. But I wanted to say that, but as I got a little bit older, they kind of vanished. You get me? But she's grown, but I know she's going through certain things. But the point is, I'm watching her taking care of skin. She went in the bathroom, had, doing what she doing. And once again, as her father, I'm like, you still beautiful. You still gorgeous. I just wanted to say those words so she can feel it in her spirit and believe it for herself. Remember what I said? She got to the point to her. She felt like she wasn't looking right. So once she said that, it was like, ooh, Daddy got to jump into that, build her self-esteem mode. Yeah, you still beautiful no matter what. I didn't even notice it. But see, she noticed the little defaults in certain things. But I'm not going to sit back and say, yeah, because you need to do this, you need to know. She already said, Dad, I had to take because whatever it was, the glue or whatever. She said, I had to take the wig off. I wanted to ask her so bad, how much you paid for it? Because I wanted to say so bad, how much you paid for it? I know we paid up to $700 for a wig for during graduation time and all that, gowns and all that. I'm telling you. But that's the bougie one. I wanted to say so bad, how much you paid for it? Nope, leave it alone, because she probably would have said, you going to help me get it up? No. This the bougie one. Now, I'm talking about dealing with the children, family. Now, my daughter, we in Baltimore City. I'm talking about the bougie one, the 25-year-old. We in Baltimore City. She drove all the way to Fredericksburg to get her nails and stuff done. I'm like, all of these places we got in Baltimore City, and you gonna ride all the way to Fredericksburg to get your nails done. Yeah, because I like the way she do my nails. I said, okay. Bougie self. She went to college in Fredericksburg. You drove all the way. Then little Steve paid about $70 to get his hair cut. I think when I was getting mine cut, it was about $5. But once my shape up started going back here, I went on and got that sucker cut. I said, no, I cut myself bald. Paying all that money for a shape up, and my shape up all the way back here. But guess what? Now, when I look at my life and I look at my ex-wife's life, very, very conservative people, dress nice, look nice, carry it nice. So do our children. That's why I'm not mad at all, OG. When I look back over my life and I look at Barbara Jean, OG, my mother raised 7 children by herself. My mother had 7 children by 7 different men, OG. She named every one of her children after her, last name wise. And I asked my mother, OG, why she do that? She said because she wasn't married, and to have children with all these different names would make her look like a 304. That's the best word I could say for right now. So that helped me to understand. And that's the way I raised the Copeland girls too, to name their babies. Like if they had a baby by this guy, they thought the relationship was going to work. It didn't. They had a baby by another guy. They thought the relationship was going to work. It didn't. Don't name. Now, I'm just saying that's old school. If you choose to name your baby after each baby daddy you had, that's you. But to people on the outside, it will make you look like you really, 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 really fast. That's what my mother kind of helped me understand. All of my children are named after me. All of my nephew's children are named after them. Even though they still with their baby's mothers and they're not married. They live a good life. I'm so proud of them. They being responsible, they productive and all that good stuff. They in committed relationships. If they decide to get married, hey, I don't care for you anyway. You get it? But some people do good, just as boyfriend, girlfriend. But when you make that commitment as a boyfriend or a girlfriend, the only thing I'm saying to you, if I ask you to be my girlfriend, now mind you, I am a player from the Himalayas. Player from the Himalayas. But if I ask you to be my girlfriend, that means I'm only going to dedicate myself to you. I'm not going to keep being a player from the Himalayas. If I ask you to marry me, that means I'm dedicating myself just to you. Player from the Himalayas. But guess what? It takes a lot of integrity to stay committed to you. Because sometimes, and I'm just talking about Steve, every man ain't like that. Every woman ain't like that. When I found myself becoming unhappy, I became player from the Himalayas. But I didn't realize deep down inside the relationship was over with. I was working my way out of it. You know how some people say things like, if you're going to cheat, just leave it alone. That sounds great. It does. And you're so correct. Because eventually, I walked away. And that's why I understand now when people say, if you want to cheat and stuff like that, just move on. It wasn't to leave the marriages. or it wasn't to destroy it. You get it? It was to go have fun somewhere else and then come home. Go have fun, then come home. Go have fun. It's not like I wanted her to know what I was doing. I try to act as normal as possible because it was the fun. And this is stuff that I talk with my children now about because I don't want them to think when you in a relationship, it's okay to be unfaithful because it's about yourself. Be true to you. This is how I talk with our children as well. Having self-respect, learning how to love themselves. When they get to that point that stuff start unaliving some, I found myself running to the arms of other women. I got one at home. Beautiful. Do everything. It was me. It was me, Alex. It was me that ran to her, to her, to her, to her, to her, to her. She did not deserve it. My wife at home. It was me. But at the time, OG, when I became unhappy, it wasn't like, I'm trying to fix it where you'll understand. I wanted to have fun on the outside and keep the marriage. But deep down in my heart, until I did leave, I didn't realize I was working my way out of the marriage. So now, when I hear people say stuff like, if you want to cheat, just leave. And be honest, you're right. But it's not that easy. It's easier said than done for some. Some people will muster up the courage and the confidence to just walk away. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this with y'all family, for a long time, I did not talk like this when it came to my children. Even though I did what I did on the outside, I had to show my children, mainly when I came home, something totally different. Not only that, as my daughters began to grow, when they was like 10, 11 years old, I would tell them, every guy don't go to that special place. For smacks, don't let every guy go there. But now at this time, when they was 10, 11 coming up, and I'm teaching them and I'm saying things to them, now I got to build up their self-esteem. Because I knew most of the women that I went after, their self-esteem was low. A lot of them, OG, didn't have a good relationship with their fathers. So they was looking for that male role model. Then on top of that, OG, the fathers won. If they was in an unhealthy relationship, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, I knew I had them. Now, when I say physical, they might have been with a guy, you know, because I got to watch it for TikTok, catch what I'm saying. And they felt like that's what they deserved. But when I came in, I played a different role to let them know, no, all men aren't like that. That was the second one. The third one, most of them are hurting. So they verbally, mentally, emotionally, men and women will abuse you with their mouth. Those are 3 red flags to this day. I will watch out for when it comes to that mate. Now, mind you, watch how I flip it. Watch how I flip it, right? Because I was going into women's lives trying to make them think that I was that great, great, great man to treat them better than the ones they was talking about. But I wasn't no different. Yeah, I got the hair done, the nails done, and took them to the movies, took them to dinner, brought them outfits, and I would buy them lingerie too. Because when we went to the hotel, I want her to look nice and sexy. When I'll go take my shower, come out, she right there in the middle of the bed, pose. Then I took her back home to her boyfriend, OG. I would not share this type of stuff with Steve. I was not sharing this type of stuff with my daughters. I had to do the opposite with them for them to watch out. Listen to what I'm saying, parents. I had to do the opposite and help my daughters recognize them no good son of a sea biscuits like their daddy was in the streets. Listen to what I just said. Like their daddy was in the street. I had to flip it on them and build up their self-esteem, build up their courage, build up their confidence. So if a man come up to them and say, girl, you fine, girl, you sexy, girl, you beautiful, they already know it. They already know it because they feel it in here. So I would tell my daughters when they do, just say thank you, because you already know. Don't like say nothing in a negative way where they might call you a B or call you out your name. Because if you insult my daughters and they come and say, Dad, this guy's such and such and such, you and I gonna have a talk. Yeah. Yeah. Just to let you know, don't you ever disrespect mine. Their fathers in their life. Okay. Now, this was my daughter asked me, family. Now, mind y'all, I haven't dated nobody young. I date younger females. I haven't dated nobody young. Right? My ex-wife is 49. The goal is not to date nobody younger than that. You get me? So if I was to date a woman in her 50s and stuff like that to marry, in her 50s, that would be more closer now. You get me? But I know there are women in their 30s, their 40s, and some in their 20s. And they could be over 18 that will find Big Unk desirable. I already know it. And it's not that they want you to sleep with them a lot. But I'm telling y'all the way I used to woo a woman. And if she didn't, I would stop wooing her. Catch what I'm saying. And she would do it just so I can continue wooing her. And I already knew it. Because that's what players do. And I had to raise mine to watch out for men like that. Just give them the signs. Another thing, you never, ever, ever try and fix nobody. Whatever person issue is, they got to address it themselves. OG. That's why OG and I talk about our 12-step spiritual program. Whatever I'm feeling inside, I'm uncomfortable with, or whatever, I'm the one got to take the time out and look and go through all the steps, because that's the way we was taught. Self-healing and growth. But you got to recognize the problem. You get me? That's why I said I'm going to start announcing to OG when we come on to talk. This is educational purposes only. He shares his personal experience. I share mine. He stood more on his integrity in his marriage. I fell off of mine. But he stood firm. Right? And then look, sometimes when we talk, me and OG talk, I'll be like, I wish I was like that at one time. But see, I understand everybody ain't like or didn't grow up OG the way I was taught, around a bunch of negative men. So now all of this that me and OG, we talk about business, whatever we talk about, it's educational purposes only. And then when it gets to the spiritual side of things, this where we come in to help you, to help you heal yourself, basically, by sharing our personal experiences, what we did to overcome certain things in life. Did you hear me say anything about praying one time? I shared that the other day, family. Not being smart, you can pray all you want. If that person doesn't have a desire to let it go, you can pray for them. You're going to make things much harder for them. Because God will answer your prayer. But if they're not ready, they're going to struggle more. And that's what I realized. If they don't have the desire to let it go, you can wish them the best. You can pray that God will protect them. And that's what you want to do. Because in the process of living a destructive way of life, and you can live a real healthy life. When it's your time to go, it's your time to go. Ain't nothing we can do about it. But the thing with OG and I, because of the way we live, we got more peace in our life now than we ever had before. Because we understand the things that we can't change, and what we can change, we'll work on change. AT, that's why when I come on my live, it's educational purposes only and opportunities. And I had to throw on the tail end to OG, healing and growth. That's the 12 steps. He's a better man than he ever been in his life. I'm a better man because of the way we live our life. Kofi, a great man. Him and his little Muppet thing. But I'm only saying his family because we have to be a living example for our children. But now, too, what I learned in the process, y'all hear what I'm saying out my mouth. My children do too. And they can tell you whatever daddy say he's doing, he's not just saying it, he's actually doing it. And they know it. That's why I say they watch what we do. Because y'all know, and this just popped in my head, sometimes people might say things like, well, what do you do when you're not around people? You know, you get that? That's when those was the behaviors, thank you, God, that I was talking about. Because I'm telling y'all, outside of my house, I was a fool. I was a fool. I was a fool. And if you told me, OG, back in the days, I'm talking about I was clean, that you slept with, say, 4 a day, I had to do 5. And I did. If you told me you was caught up, OG, this where my mind was at one point, that you stuck on 4, come on, Dr. K, I had to do 5. And it wasn't you, it was trying to fill that void inside, that emptiness. That's why, check this out, family. It's so important to have a spiritual relationship or connection with a higher power, a power greater than yourself, just living according to morals, values, and principles, good qualities, because you already know what you can do on the opposite, right? But when you recognize it and you caught up, I had to surrender it. Just like I did with the smugs and stuff, with the alcohol. If it came to smacks, I had to practice the same spiritual principles. I had to admit my powerlessness because I was caught up in it. If it came to food, I had to practice the same principles. If it came to lying, manipulating, and cheating, I realized I'm not being honest to myself. It's not about y'all. That's why that statement is there, OG. to thy own self be true. Because I can lie to everybody else, but deep down inside in my gut, I can't lie to myself. Mainly if I tell you I'm on a spiritual journey today. That means I'm going against my morals, values, and principles. That's why parents, in order for us to help our children, you got to make sure your life is in order. I watch mine go through the training bras phase, the puberty, to regular, bras. Then I would also go to the store to get their pads and stuff. Not only my daughters. My daughter, Sienna, was in the private school. So she might came over by this time, me and her mother not together, but she would come over the house with about 4 or 5 of her girlfriends. I watched them grow up. They're grown now, from little girls to young ladies. And I would have to go to the store and get their, I would have to end up giving them my Tylenols because, some of them got cramped up and they didn't come prepared. I watched them grow, turn into beautiful young ladies. It got to the point I told my daughter, I said, they can't keep coming over here all the time. You know why? They were starting to look like women. And as a man, your mind will play games. And I thank God. I'm going to say it again, OG. I thank God I did not play those games. So I watched these young ladies turn out to be beautiful women. Most of them now about 25, 26. I raised them just like they was my daughters. Because most of them fathers wasn't in their life. And one young lady grandmother told me, she said, you know what? She said, you are a good man. Because I didn't step across the line. Please pay attention, family. That's why I do what I do as a parent, as a grandfather, as an uncle, as a brother, as a used to be foster care provider. I was taught well, mentoring young men. I'm only giving back to y'all. I'm talking about from a male's perspective. I'm only giving back to y'all what was freely given to me. And trying to work and make a difference in other people's lives. Baltimore. Anybody that come on my live or wherever you at, if you in Chicago, Detroit, DC, wherever, and you are working in the community to build back up that village, if you are working actually in the community, now I'm going to personally say this. Our council members, not council members, our politicians, I don't care what level they on. Our law enforcers, talking about the police department, they only create laws. The laws that they create can inspire, motivate, empower the people. Some laws that they create can destroy them. That's what they do. They create laws. They make laws. And you, the individual, have to live accordingly. So it's people like myself. We've strengthened the community. It's people like myself with the Latanya D. Copeland House of Hope. It's people like myself with 33 years clean that will go back into the community and let those that struggling know that you can come out of that lifestyle, but you have to be willing to do the work to turn your life around. It's people like myself and other nonprofits and organizations and businesses that comes with the solutions to the laws they create. That's all they do. They're not in the community doing the work that we supposed to do. They're putting the laws there and they're hiring other businesses and companies to actually implement it as far as coming up with solutions to slow a lot of stuff down. And some things we can put to a stop. SNAP will never go nowhere. They might have cut back on some of the funding for it. HUD housing will never go nowhere. They might cut back on some of the programs or the housing for it, or you can't stay on it too long now. Medicaid, they might cut back on certain things, right? But it will never, ever, ever, ever stop. I work with the homeless population. And you got people that's going to fall on hard time all the time. You got people that's going to get sick. So if they cut out these programs, you're going to have more starving people. You're going to have more homeless people. You're going to have more sick people that cannot be treated. And this is where your tax dollars goes at, towards these programs to help take care of the American people. But y'all know what they doing too? And it ain't Trump. It's Congress. Trump don't create no laws. He don't create no policies. He taking a fall back for what Congress is doing. And it makes it look like it's him by himself. No. Understand the three branches of government. And the reason why they did the three branches of government, so no one individual will have all that power and control. I studied that years ago. The president just deals with a lot of foreign affairs. He represents the United States. He told y'all, I am not a politician. So he don't have a degree in political science. He said, I'm a businessman. And be honest, by him winning, he showed us how easy that position can be. That's all. That's all. That's why I backed up too, OG. Because the more I begin to understand certain things, it was better for me to focus more on the business side of stuff. Because that's where the solutions are at. I'm looking at these young men. with these pew-pews, long. And I made a comment. Y'all know who's doing that. Y'all know who's doing it. Nowhere in the world somebody got something that long they can hide it. And y'all know our young men is going around with them like that. And if they not registered, y'all know our young men going around doing stuff that's very, 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 very detrimental. And y'all know it. In the same way they out there doing things to other people, if they feel like because you know what they're doing, they might come for you. That's why people like that, you get off the street. And I'm talking about some young men. Very disappointing. Man, it didn't say whether they took somebody down as they was doing it or not. They was just talking about trying to find out who they are. And I made the statement, y'all know who they are. Your nieces, your nephews, your grandkids, your children. Going around with this type of stuff in your house. Because all of them, a lot of them can't afford their own place, so they got it in your house. And you know it. And you allowing it. Parents. Big as that goddamn thing was. You can't even really hide it. This is what's getting me for us as parents. You know what your child is doing. And you know, whenever they turn around pews like that, it's either to protect themselves, to show their butts, or to take somebody out. I can only speak for why I had mine. To protect myself, my back. And if it got too hot, to take you down. And I was sharing it with my nephew. And he threw a third one in. He said, sometimes just to have it to show off. I said, God dang it, I didn't even think about that. And he was one of the hosts that hosted the teen talk show. And I would do it from the dining room. When I had the youth actually coming out, which I'm trying to get back to that point, so we can hear from the children, so you can better understand where your child is at with certain behaviors that you might see. That's all you got to do is look at yourself. I thank God for taking me back to when I was 5, to when I was 11, to when I was 13, 14, 15. Back down memory lane. I lived that. You can't run and hide from it. It's there. The only thing you try not to do is let it beat you down today. You know, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So now, we traveled that road. What's any different than your children now? They're young. You went through puberty. You went through discovering yourself. You went through the hormones, you get me? You went through that. So what's any different than your children, than the children today? They are growing up. It's a process to getting older. I don't know what they doing now. I don't know why it is. I don't know why. It's basically some of the same. They growing. And to be honest with y'all, we got more children that's doing the right things Then we got doing the wrong things. It's just they promote more of the bad. Come on, OG.
Yeah, but then you have some parents that are doing it, some that are not. Those that are comfortable already know what's going on because they went through what we had to go through as kids. They went through the same puberty, they went through the same issues with that and the others growing up. And what's wrong with the parent actually talking about that in particular to their children? Anyway, we got to talk as kids. We didn't use a school. We didn't use no computers. We got a heart-to-heart talk at home to learn the birds and the bees. So why aren't the new parents doing the same thing?
And he right, yeah, he right. And what I found out, OG, be honest, a lot of parents are afraid to talk with their children about the birds and the bees. Now, check this out. Excuse me, OG. Check this out. You might have a girl or a boy that likes the same. I'm going to say that again. You might have a girl or a boy that might likes the same. That don't make them psychologically something wrong with them. You get me? Because I got to watch words for TikTok. Right? They just desire the same smacks. Now, you don't want to beat them up. It could be this. It could be. Wait.
Now, how do you really sit down and talk with that child that decided to play for the same team as you are? Now, that's the uncomfortable part for these parents nowadays, where parents back in the day knew how to handle us and knew how to talk to us in a proper way of learning about the same person that you are trying to go after. Is you're trying to go after the same sex as you, then okay, these are the things that you need to be careful of. The same thing with women. We all had that talk. There's nothing to be afraid to talk to your children about what their preference is. Because we all go through it. We're all going to have to answer to that question eventually, so why not teach them now?
Now, what OG is saying, my stepdaughter, she was 10 years old. My little cousin that I was doing foster care with, 10 years old, said that she liked the same, Dad, I was trying to think of that word you just used, OG. They was 10. They are in the relationships now. But this is what I told them. I don't care what you like, because I knew it was just the smacks part. You get me? Same sex wise. I said, I love you anyway. Because I already know what they was going to face anyhow. Right? But it was just the point of letting them know, wherever you at, whatever you do in life, be happy with yourself. Because people ain't going to like it point blank. They're going to say whatever they want to tear you down and all that. So I can say right now, they are happily in relationships. Now, they was 10. Now, look, we can look at it like this. Did anybody touch you? Did this happen? Did that happen? Did this happen to make them want to go that route? Or if it's just that they found, the same more attractive and interesting. That's how you have to talk with your children. I ask my daughters. Now, this is my little cousin and stepdaughter, right? I was doing foster care with. Now, I asked my daughters, do you like the same more than you like the boys? No, she like boys. I talk with little Steve too. You know why? Because if he decided Whichever way he decided to go, that's my son. And I love him anyway. And the whole goal with all of this, I'm saying, family, I just want them to be happy. You get me? Find peace within themselves. Because it's look, I'm 60.
You should as a father.
Right.
You should as a father, because you earned that title. You earned father, or you earned that respect. So therefore, it's easier for you to talk to your children because you raised them the right way. You know, so I mean, that's just comparing you.
Right.
I'm not comparing you to nobody else, but I'm just letting people know that if this man can do it and not be ashamed of doing it, being the father that he is, and the loving, caring, understanding, and respectful father that he is, why are people so scared to have that talk? That's all I want to know. Why are people so scared to have the education with their children? Either it be same sex or not.
Thank you. But now the whole key to what we saying, family, I'm not going to, they have to learn to live their own lives, no matter what. And our goal, right, is to help them, to be one with self. I'm 64. OG already know. Now, my ex-wife, I'm 15 years older than her. That's my second wife. My first wife, I was 5 years older than her. But now, I like younger females. At 64, it's a female that's interested in me. She like 43, but she got 11-year-old. And I'm like, I ain't trying to raise. But now, it's something to think about because I don't know what might happen down the line, but that's young. My oldest be 38 this year, OG. And my thing is not to mess with nobody that young. And when I say that, I'm talking about like making them my wife. You get me? I really need at 64 somebody that's more close to me in my age. Because it's not about the house, the car, the jewelry, all of that, right? Because we being grown, we take care of that responsibility. I just want somebody that know how to really love themselves, care for themselves. I don't want us to argue all the time. I know we're going to have our little difficulties here and there. We're going to see things a little different. But let it be a now and then thing. I don't want it where it's going to happen like every day or every other day we arguing and it's causing a bunch of chaos and confusion in the house. I went through that. I don't want it no more. And you know what a lot of people turn around and say? Why? Oh, well, did you said why to me? Listen to how I'm stuttering. Did you feel like you gonna come here with that? You better stay over there. Save yourself. Well, I like to talk like that. Like, well, do not. I'm telling you. Right now, at age 64, I ain't trying to grow no extra hair. You know me. Great. But I'm just saying that to just let you know. I want peace. Real simple. But like I said, I know from time to time we're going to have our little difficulties. You know why? You your own individual. I'm my own individual. You might not like certain things that I'm doing. OG know what I'm doing, business-wise, house-wise. Do you think I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing? OG already know where we at with that. So you got to love me and accept me for the businessman that I am, the spiritual man that I am. And I don't want you to tell me, well, you do this too much, you do that. No, I have to balance it out. If you come in my life, I know I got to do this at a certain time, that at a certain time, because you're a part of the life. I already know all that. But the thing is, please do not try to dictate me. Because it's not going to work. And the only reason why I could say that, family, because I had it happen before. And I'm not going to lose me for nobody. No more.
One thing that I dislike
Come on.
is someone always, where are you going?
Yeah.
Where are you going? Where are you going? Where the hell I want to go? I'm a grown-ass man. So you have your mind, I have mine. So therefore, I don't never ask you what you're going to do. So why are you asking me what I'm doing and where am I going if I don't ask no questions to you?
Now, let me, we might, wait a minute, OG, we might ask, like, where you get ready to go? But it's not to dictate it, you get me? It's like, okay, have fun, blah, 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 little stuff like that. But not to dictate your life. Come on, OG. OG.
I may tell her, look, I'm just going down to the store. I'm going down what street I'm going down in case of an emergency. And that's the only thing that I require back. Is if you're leaving, which way are you going? Where are you going? Then that way, if something happens, I know where to find you if something happens in case of an emergency. People don't look at it that way. People look at it as, well, I can do what I want to do, but if something happens, how are you going to explain why you're not where you're saying you are?
He ain't lying. He ain't lying.
But I mean, you see what I'm saying? How are you going to cover up where you're at? And that's not where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be over there. So why are you over here? You see what I'm saying? So that's a red flag for me. I'm already gone. I'm already clocked out mentally. I'm gone. I'm going home. I'm packing her stuff up nice and polite, putting it outside, and ask her for my key back because she's done. And I'm good. Because I don't have time for games. I don't have time. If you're going to tell me that you're going to be at one place and you're at the other place, no, sorry, that wasn't the talk. So yeah, no, bro, I ain't that way either.
And see, everything OG is saying, all of that comes with trust, right? Because when you in, I'm gonna say a marriage, right, or committed relationship, it's about trusting your mate. Anytime I will go in my head, OG. Now, mind you, I'm the one that's doing stuff, but I was always accused of stuff. And before I started doing it, and people would say, well, she probably this, she probably that. I don't know. Because one, I was the one that would always did. Whether she was doing it or not, I trusted she was doing the right things. I trusted that she was where she was at. And this is what I had to tell my ex too, because she accused me so much of things. I said, in order for you to have peace in your head, when I'm out, just try to believe that he's doing the right things so that you won't be in your head where he at, who he with, how long he gonna be. Because that's not good. That's not good. Now, my daughter, it was yesterday. She got Little Steve location. All of them got each other's location. Little Steve was up in Aberdeen, Maryland. And she pointed out his location. And then she said, they got a big pool in the back of their yard. I said, what you on that World Google thing? Because I'm connected with that as well. Where it will take a view of everything where you at. And I'm gonna tell y'all this. That did not feel comfortable. And I already know they spying on us and all that type of stuff. I already know that. But that's what they do. They have each other's location where they can, But it's just some things for me, right? Like family-wise, is real uncomfortable. And I know it's a good thing to a degree. It's good. Just in case something happened to somebody, you can track them down. Or if their phone is taken, you can track them down. But that just didn't feel right. And it was a conversation that was had, and she showed me, right? She pulled it up on her phone and showed me he was up in Aberdeen. So my thing is, I said he must be up there playing soccer or something like that. She said no, he has somebody else because they got a big swimming pool in the back. I was like, wow. I almost gave her my information. Well, connect me. I said, but but I'm just looking at the technology and the things. You have to, and I'm just saying, your mate, your family, you gotta trust because of the morals, the values, and the spiritual principles that we instilled in their life, that they will live them to the best of their human abilities. You know, because you want the best for them. And a lot of people, y'all might not feel like that, and it's okay. But I'm just telling you, Big Steve. I'm just telling you about Big Ump. You know? And then, like I said, when I look back over, when I look at my niece, the one that's 46, when her mother had her, I was 18. Then Ebony, then Derek. And we all was a close-knit family, so we basically took care of each other. That was the village. So when I look at them and I look at the life they're living, I'm so proud of them, family. I shared that on another live because I couldn't get as deep with the smugs and all that type of stuff. I thank God they did not come up like us, even though they might have seen certain things. But our goal, I can tell you right now, when I was hustling and we was doing, well, the family was doing it. The family was doing it. Keep it simple. The family was doing it. We kept them away from it. We tried not to do things around them. When it was time for us to come together and do what we had to do, all of us went in one room together. The kids could not come around that. So for the longest time, OG, I didn't realize that my house was the Pew Pew Gallery. Even though we did what we did, at the end of the day, we would come together and party. I didn't realize that, OG, till I got clean, that our house was the Pew Pew Gallery. You know how embarrassed I felt about that, OG. And for a while, I wouldn't talk about stuff like that. I wouldn't tell people that my mother sold plants to take care of her family. And when I say she sold plants, I ain't talking about 1, 2, 3. Me and my brother went out of town, came back with a suitcase full of this. That's the way the family was. That's why I tell people, have you ever heard of The Wire? I never watched that movie, that series, because we lived that life. And it just reminded me too much of what we went through or what I went through. So I don't care for stuff like that. I don't care for it.
I can actually identify with you there because my first wife was in that life. She did the same thing. Both her and her son. So I can definitely understand that. This is why God freed me from that, because he didn't want me involved. For the next downfall that was getting ready to happen, he didn't want me in that situation. So he politely made a promising way for me to disappear and not have to worry about anything. So that's what happened. But yeah, no, I had to leave my first wife. I did. I mean, we were done anyway after she VA'd me. I'm good.
That's why I go back, family. Now, and I know OG don't mind me saying this. This is actually ministry for us as recovering human beings. This is ministry. Because what we learned to do was become one with self. And I'm gonna say the creator, whatever you want to call him. A power greater than yourself, a higher power. If it's good orderly direction for some, as long as you're not doing a lot of the crackball stuff you used to do, this is ministry for us. And our goal is helping people to heal. That's why when y'all see me say certain things like healing and growth, or y'all might see me put certain things in there and say, we do recover from a helpless and hopeless state of mind. Because OG is living proof. Steve Copeland is living proof. So we already know, 70 years all together, that you can turn your life around mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And the same methods that we use when it comes to sponsoring men, sponsoring women, is the same methods we can use in helping to restore or build our younger generation as well. Same method. You might just have to watch your wordings. You might have to come a little bit in a different way for them to understand as far as where they at on their level. But you have to know, and I'm trying to find some words to put in there, right? When you know deep down in your spirit that you've been called to be a fisher, watch this, because it's in the Bible, of men. I'm sorry, family. The disciples, now, I think when they switched over to apostles is when Christ came back and gave them that calling. But now, as a fisher of men, that's what we are. Not just a fisher of men, we help women too. Not just women, we are fishers of children as well, as far as guiding them in the proper way. That's all. So when you hear me say, and it's the two OGs, that we are fishers of men, women, and children. Not only that, OG, I got to get that word right. He has his own business. Now, I was going to say he's an architect, but he do grass and stuff like that, right? But anyway, that's his business. But guess what? He's willing to teach our young men and women in those areas to become like professionals, business-wise, right? He's willing to teach for free. He want to volunteer service. I said, that's good, because the goal is to get you paid. I ain't worrying about that. Huh? That's what he told me. I ain't worrying about that. I just want to help you. And I know that's his heart. That's his spirit. But he'll tell you point blank, my thing is to help you. I want to see you do good like us. And that's what I love about it. And every time we talk, he'll tell you point blank, he ain't worrying about the money. You just want to make sure you get a career going for yourself. Know how to cut your grass, know how to trim your hedges, know how to take, grow plants, and he'll teach you all that. So that once you get your own, you'll be able to take care of it. That's his specialty. And I ain't even talking about the construction on the houses yet. Teach you all that too. See, that's why people like OG I need, right? Mainly when it comes to the construction side of stuff, the handyman side of stuff, because I'm not a handyman. I'm not into construction. It's not like I won't do some work, I might help you put up this and that, but I don't have a problem with, but that's not my profession. That's his profession. But now the goal with me and him is for us to provide the places for the people now. That's where we at now. So that you can move from a temporary house, a temporary, I'm going to say bed space, because that's what AI said to me one day.
Let them know
to permanent.
Baltimore. Explain to them why I'm coming or what I'm trying to do for Baltimore, even though I'm coming from a whole different state. Explain that to them.
Now, because he's willing to come to Baltimore, right? Thank you, OG. I was looking at a place for him a while back. Now, when I was down at the building, I wouldn't have had no problem for him coming to the building. But because it's business, I wanted him to have his own. So I was looking at a place for him because his goal is to come. We just need the space to teach you. I'm going to use this word, to become career-minded professionals. Rather you want to do HVAC, rather you want to do plumbing, rather you want to do bricklaying, rather you want to do nursing, they are professional career-minded jobs. This is our goal. He can certify you. He can put you in those places. That's why he said he will volunteer his services. So basically he's saying, I will teach the clients for free. I said, no. Now, oh, you better not say nothing yet. you better not, OG.
Also coming to do a vocational school.
Right.
This is the whole purpose of our company coming down, to take an old school and convert it into a trade school where you are able to learn your different trades that you want to be able to learn.
I ain't want OG to say nothing yet, right? Because I know where his heart is. His heart is where mine's at. And that's our vision too, is to get a school, right? And the goal is mainly the first floor, is to have all the programs and projects on the first floor. Then upstairs is to do the temporary to permanent housing. That's going to be the clients that will come downstairs to get the professional help that they need. So every time he say that, that's where my heart at. That's our goal. Not just one. I'm trying to be quiet, OG. But God gave me a vision for 4, not just one. But the goal is starting at 1. Now, I'm going to say this because somebody just came to my mind. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say who it is. Nope, I ain't going to do it. They have a school and they using the first floor for cooking and culinary classes, all that, everything we want to do. The second floor, they got little programs there. The third floor, they want to turn it into a shelter. My thing is, no. The reason why I'm saying that, because shelters only let you in at a certain time and they hold you, and then during the day you're gone. So I told her, I said, we need to talk to do the bed space because they got to pay. This is what she said to me, OG. The most they can afford is $500. Number one, you got to make sure they got their money. My goal, if you're in the temporary housing program, is to get you into housing. Keep in mind, for low income or Section 8, right? If you only have $500 that you can afford. Now, not only that, because OG talking about rehabbing and revitalizing houses. That's where my heart is at. Our clients get the first options to buy a house. So our goal as you traveling through the program, because we already got the 5 steps. The 5 phases that you have to go through in our program. Because as you graduate, you get the key to your affordable house. Rather it's apartment, rather it's a rental place, rather it's something that you want to buy. So now when you sign up with us, see, we teaching you this. And he's standing firm on what he want to do. Just a part of he's part of the puzzle. That's all I'm trying to get to. I'm one piece. He comes with the other piece. Then we want people to come with this piece, that piece. Come on, OG.
And then the other piece that I'm bringing is that after they get done in our program, just before they get done, they will be working on their own home. So I'm not just working on that home by myself. No. Who's ever in our program, they're working on their own home. I'm showing them how to keep maintenance, how to do all the things.
Right.
They're going to build their own home if necessary, or help fix up their own home. That's what they have to do in order to get in this place. Because if I have to come in and do it, I'm sorry. You see what I'm saying?
And see, that's everything he's saying. I'm sorry, OG. OG, oh, that's too much noise behind you. Too much noise behind you. I need you to talk, but that's a lot of noise. And you know I want to send this back over. Educational purposes only. I need you to talk, but that's a lot of noise. And I'm going to tell you now, OG, StreamYard going to break these clips down and send them back. So I need you to educate. See, that's where his heart is at. His heart and my heart is in the same place. You know, and it's going to take funding for us to do what we got to do. I'm not really worried about that because I deal with the politicians. The goal is now flipping stuff over to the 501c3. I feel like, be honest with you, OG, because of the connection, I feel like we can get the funding from the city anyway. It's just knowing who to go to, and I've been looking all that up to get the grant money from. Not only that, OG, I've been looking at philanthropists as well. So I'm not trying to be smart, OG, but I just want y'all to know. People like Elon Musk, people like Donald Trump, people like Bill Gates, they put money back into the community because that's how they write off their taxes. So once you know who hid up certain programs like that, right? The grant money or the philanthropist money, you got to find somebody that know the ins and the outs that can get you. Now we talking about millions. When I say that, I ain't talking about 100 here, 100 there. That's like one house. When I say millions, we talking about blocks. That's what OG talking about. But now, what OG was saying too made me think about Habitat for Humanity, because actually he's going to work with you in building your own place. That's what he's saying. So it took me back to Habitat for Humanity. Now, Bree Jones, OG, she in Baltimore City, and that's what she's doing. She's working with the low to moderate income people. From what I understand, and this was years ago, I don't know who put it all there, but she got $60 million to do exactly everything OG just said. And when I found out she got that money like that, I said, I'm next. I'm next. And I had reached out to her, OG, because to be part of her team, like board. But she put more lawyers on there. So that way, you know, she got to make sure her stuff's straight. So I got that. I got it. And that's why, OG, it's like God is moving me into this area now. And I'm apologize. I'm going to back it up. God is moving us into this area. It's just getting it done. That's where I'm at now. It's just getting it done. Our politicians in Baltimore City, most of the people that I deal with already know where my heart is at, already know about strengthening the community, already know about the Couch Conversation Show. They know about all of this. Believe me, it's just getting the job done. Getting back with the people that I started out with. That's all. And getting it done. And this is where my heart been at lately. So I do believe this is where God telling me to go. I do.
Read the message real quick, bro.
Wait a minute. Pull a screen for the equipment and stuff like that. Ain't no problem. Ain't no problem. It ain't no problem. Because the only thing, let me go here. Plus Jones. He does commercial work. When I say that, he's like a real estate investor. I want to make sure I put that word right. Because he do develop like the $200 million project they got on Bel Air Road in North. That's going to be like a shopping center. It's going to have apartments up there as well. That's what him and his wife doing. It's just like what's across the street from me. I'm over here at Morgan State, the shopping center right there. That's what Plus Jones and his wife doing. Not only that, because they have, let me make sure I get the words right, because they do, it's apprenticeship programs, but I'm trying to think of what's the actual name, because they teach classes. They teach up to 70 credentials, right? But he know the ones that really stand out the most, probably like trucking, electricity, bricklaying, stuff like that. So you have more people that might sign up for those classes than they do nursing and all this type of stuff. But now keep in mind, whenever you have this stuff, if you aren't certified to do it yourself, you hire the ones that can do it. That's why I told Plus Jones when it came to the third phase of our program, I said, you are that what is called first stop place. I'm trying to get the name together because he does everything. He teaches you everything, heavy duty equipment, all that. So when it comes to the equipment, that's not a problem. When it comes to redeveloping communities as a whole, that's not a problem. That's where your professional contractors come in at. And keep in mind, OG, because it's almost 8 o'clock. Remember when I said I was working on a project for $5.4 million. I had a contractor that if I got the money, the money was in, the houses was in a community land trust. Only thing I had to do was get the money to do the houses. So I had my own contractor that will do basically everything. He does everything. He would have had to give me, if we got the money, 10% of the money, because I'm getting the contract for him. Will Hanna, because this is in his land trust, he would have had to pay me $10 million. 10% of that money. So each individual that I would have brought on, that was me giving them contracts, because now I'm in broker mode. So basically, I'm getting contracts for them to do. And now they pay me a percentage of the contract. So it was about, with Will, it was about 10 or 15 of us. We had a designer and everything. So now when it comes down to doing it again, I will reach back out to Will Hanna because he does community land trust. which is houses in there. He last time when I was with him, he had like 270 houses in the land trust. And then there's somebody else in Baltimore City that has a land trust down in Brooklyn. So I already know they got the houses in there. The point is getting the money to work on them. That's what it is. So it's just doing it. And then my man, who's a billionaire, that does the same things. He go into the community, he develop communities, he develop shopping centers and all that. Build buildings and all that. Those are your, trying to make sure I say the name right, those are your real estate investors. And some of them are landlords too. So, you know, they rent out property, they redevelop communities, they redevelop shopping centers, they redevelop areas, but they got to get the land to do it. All that. Money, I see your back. So all of what I'm saying, OG, is already set up with strengthening our community. It's just, for me, be honest, I want to sit back down with somebody and go through everything again and print everything out. Because when I have my meetings, I want to give you a portfolio of the work and everything of what we're doing. So when I had my business meetings, I got to set it up. Not only that, I need somebody I can write it, my own 501c3. But what's up, baby? But this time, I actually want somebody that's professional, that can tell me what to put in, what not to put in, you know, mainly when it comes to me doing my portfolios. Because I don't want to give you everything where you probably could try to take it from me. So I learned all of that, because people will go behind you and try to steal your stuff. But when I have my business meeting, I have to set it up so you will know step by step by step by step what it's all about. I got to walk you through the process. That's business wise, because I'm looking for investors. I'm looking for people that want to invest their money in certain projects. So whenever you have your business meetings, these are the people that come out. They got money. The point is, are they willing to invest with you? Certain ones, they want to, but they might have got with somebody and lost a lot of money. So they kind of skeptical, which I don't, you can't blame them. But that's why, for me, I want philanthropists. I want people, because you're taking a risk. But the goal is for you to get paid. Whatever money you put in to the project, you earn an interest off it. My goal is not to take it from you or steal it from you. It's to make sure you profit off your money. But now, you got to find somebody that got money out the yang and can say, here, Mr. Copeland, they got 5 million. It's more than 5 million, but they got 5 million sitting here and they willing to work with you. And if they lose it, they are with it. You get it? That's how Trump worked with people. People invest money into the projects he does. And then it might fail. So that's how you want. Even with Elon Musk, they ain't do this by themselves. So I started seeing it for myself. You got to get people that believes in your vision, that believes in your passion, that believes in your dreams. But they got to see your work. They got to see it. And that's why I put pictures up. That's why if you go to my Google page, it'll tell you what Steve Copeland does, what the program is all about. It'll tell you all that. And then it's other organizations on there that do stuff similar to what I do. So they got us matched together. That's what Google did. But it'll talk about strengthening the community. And this is what the House of Hope might be doing, the same thing Steve Copeland doing. So they got me over that, and it'll look like that's part of, because it's everybody's like under one big umbrella, if you get what I'm saying. So it's to connect you with other businesses. That's what Google does. That do what you do. Then on top of that, I got my own website. So I have to go on my website and update that as well. All of that. Now, I can hire a company to do all that for me, but I've been doing it by myself lately, and I'm getting tired. But now, early on, OG, I did have this husband and wife that ran my stuff for me. So lately, it's like over the years, people move on because they're doing other things. And we all start out great. But then little by little by little, pew, pew, pew. That's what happens. But you can't stop doing what you're doing. And you got to make sure your paperwork is lined up. So look, I'm going to get ready to end this. It's 8 o'clock. Bmore. Teen Talk. Empowering our youth. Well, empowering our next generation. So guess what? All the stuff that I'm sharing from where I'm at in life, I didn't get here overnight. So I know what it is to be a teenager. What's up? What's up, buddy? I know what it is to be a youth. I know what it is to be a teenager. I know what it is as a parent, how important it is for us to be a major part of our children's lives. If they try to grow off the information that they have, and it's not healthy information, they are going to be lost. They are going to go with other people. That's why you got our youth just joining gangs that's doing a lot of destructive stuff, because they feel that love from the chaos and the confusion. So this is where the parents come in at, or mentors, or sponsors, or foster care parents. I'm just talking about people to help guide them in a more healthier way. They will gravitate to chaos and confusion. Watch the grown-ups. Watch some of these platforms on TikTok, and I'm not trying to be smart. Watch some of them. Listen to some of the grown-ups. And you can tell from their unhealthy behaviors. They're only giving back what they have. And if there's no healthy stuff there, healing and growth, listen to them. Listen to them. And I know some of the stuff I say out my mouth. I know some of the stuff I say out my mouth, right? Might sound a little unhealthy to people that's not used to it. I already know all that. So I love y'all. I don't want to make this too long. OG, Monday, men's mental health. I know. And OG, I need you. Some kind of way you got to mute some of that loud noise in the back. All right? Because I need you.
My best friend. No, that's my best friend. We're actually watching a TV show.
I got you. I got my TV on. You can't even tell. Because I made sure I turn it down when I come on my live. You might hear the fan blowing, but the fan blowing all the way from on the other side. But when you talking, bro, you don't want a lot of distraction in the background. So I am going to go ahead and end this. And I love y'all, Baltimore City. TikTok family. Phyllis, don't bring your butt up now. You knew I was coming on at 6. You knew. I started to call Tashawn too. But look, I'm gone, family. I love y'all. Bmore City. Bmore.